My name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons: Tangerine, Jeannie Grey, Beastie Boy, Snowcone, and their friends from X-FARCE, Cable TV, Garfarel, Dominoes, and introducing the Newt Mutants. Beware the rest: Magneto, Mistress Piggy, and Cesspool. Now, Parody Press Comics is back with X-FARCE Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tiers. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talents. Parody Press, making the world laugh again. Only on INDIEGOGO.
Got the hot drive on modulator and the 2-day uneven flow. Inside the time-space continuator, there's a flux mount that's set to go. This thing is vertical, retractable, reversible, submergible and Germany. And the mechanism cross the divide, multiply and disk drive. It's Germany, it's Germany. Plug the main In the undergrid, make every shake, yeah. The excitement is in the
Woo woo! Good morning, guys. How is everyone? I'm doing great. I have a great show for you planned today. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about some projects that you might not have been aware of. I wasn't aware of these projects until just this week. So thanks to everybody that's in the chat. I just want to kind of cover things a little quicker today. So we're going to try to wrap this show up. I'm going to try to shoot for 45 minutes. So try to give everybody at least 12 minutes to kind of pitch their wares. But I want to kind of keep it moving and fun. Chat, feel free to ask questions. It's so cool to be here this morning and to have coffee. I've got my official X-FARCE mug right here that I'm drinking my Java out of. This is like my third cup of coffee, so I'm a little amped up already. So we've got some great guests today, guys. We've got Mark in the house, Tim, Lottie in the house. We're still waiting for our third guest, Frank, to come in, but we're going to have some fun. So let's go ahead and get the show going. I'm going to bring in our first guest, which is Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Don, I'm doing great. I'm doing
Good to
great.
see you. How's
Hey,
life?
man.
How's life in Atlanta?
Oh, life in Atlanta is great. It's like 65 degrees last night. I was strolling around town with my girl, actually going to restaurants and stuff. So,
Oh, good.
hey,
That's
it's a
nice,
beautiful
man.
day.
How long have you lived in Atlanta?
I'm actually from Atlanta, one of the few natives that actually are here in Atlanta. Most folks who live in Atlanta, if you don't know, are kind of transplanted from somewhere else. But I went away to college in Chicago and other places, but ended up coming back here. So
Cool. Well, I saw your you sent me some promo materials and your website, and my wife actually brought me to your attention because she was on Twitter, and somehow, she's not a big comic book reader, but she knows artwork, and when she sees artwork that really speaks to her, she'll show it to me. And so when I saw Dominion, I said, how come I haven't heard of Terminus before? This stuff is like really, really well done. I'm going to go ahead and bring up your webpage real quick here. Is that all right, Mark?
yeah, great.
Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll put on some links so you guys can go to Mark's site. So let me go ahead and bring that up, and I'm going to go ahead and put you up here at the top, Mark, so you can kind of take the stage. So let me go ahead and put the banner up to your website, and it is terminusmedia.com. How long have you guys been around?
Terminus has been around as a company for about 20 years. We started out.
Wow.
We started out in Atlanta, and we were a bunch of guys writing screenplays. And 20 years ago, there's no film business in Atlanta to speak of. So, if you didn't live in Los Angeles or New York, there's really nothing going on. So we decided to make comic books to promote our screenplays, and then we started producing animation to promote our comics, and then we started doing film stuff just to develop the intellectual property as much as possible in as many categories as possible. So yeah, that's how we got started. And at the beginning of 2020, we kind of decided we wanted to focus our company more and focus. A lot of our team members, they have like little kids and stuff, and but they also love the medium of comics. Like X-FARCE is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I love it because it doesn't take itself so seriously. It's like you meet these guys at comic shows, and they're wearing fedoras, and which is great. I love fedoras, but these guys sometimes they're really serious about comics, and I love those comics, but I also love the absurd. So.
Yeah, if you have a title with the platypus in it, right? So how serious can you be?
Absolutely.
Let me show people this. This is another one. I might have to have you back on just to talk about the platypus book, because I'm a funny animals kind of guy. So show us your that book if you could, Mark.
Yeah. Platypus Monkey is basically about, it's a story I wrote, and it's about a Soviet cyber monkey that shot into space, through the Soviet space program, and he's knocked off into deep space.
Oh wow!
And
Cool.
an asteroid, but he stays out there frozen for about 60 years, and some benevolent aliens, they're kind of monks, are flying by in their ship, and they find this frozen monkey, and they fix him with data on his own ship to fix his frozen brain. So they fill his monkey brain with all kinds of Soviet propaganda and shoot him back where he came from.
Awesome.
But he doesn't land in the Soviet Union. He lands in New York City and proceeds to try to take over New York City for the motherland.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you planning a second issue, or is it just a one shot?
Oh yeah. We're the second issue is in production, and it's going to be even better than the first. Lots of great ideas.
Nice. So you said you've been in Atlanta for quite a while. So obviously everybody they seem like they're bringing their production to Atlanta. I know Walking Dead is kind of like one of the things they produce out there. Have you been involved? I see on your website you actually have some film projects. Is there anything that we might know of or that we could watch that you've been involved in?
I don't think so. We're working. It's funny. We're working with some producers in Canada.
Oh, really?
One of the most famous Canadian boxers. And so it's weird how we're living in Atlanta, which is a nexus for film these days, is Marvel movies and a lot of other things. But we just have to be working with people from Canada. So
cool.
Yeah, that's usually how it works out.
Can I go ahead and play this
Please.
trailer?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and try to make it a little big so I can play it on YouTube. Let's see if we get sound. I think we'll be fine. You guys hear that all right?
They are defeated.
All right.
I have carried out the command of the Almighty.
Enough! Is tribute better than obedience? Because you have rejected his command. He has rejected you!
Wait!
The Almighty has torn the dominion from you today.
Samuel!
And has given it to one who is better than you. A man after his own heart.
Samuel!
We cannot stand by while our people are under attack.
I will not be dictated to by a child.
I could save the kingdom, Mother. Would you have me do nothing?
Do not stir up your father's rage. You will tear this family apart.
The Philistines are coming.
Open your eyes, Jonathan. Our father is not the just king you wish him to be.
You have duties to this family, to your people.
I saw a young warrior.
Who did you see?
The spirit of the Almighty was with him.
I will not lose my throne. Dominion is mine. I am king. I am Saul.
That's a good looking trailer, Mark.
Thanks.
Very nice. I think in your promo materials, you kind of say this is like What If Chronicles of Narnia met Star Wars. Is that kind of your elevator pitch?
Yeah, that's what we were going for. Speaking of kind of absurd comics, we about a year ago we decided we wanted to create some comics that are faith and family friendly. So we started Baron Bell, one of our creators, who also created Radio Free America, one of our titles. He pitched. He said, he's like, Mark, I want to tell some of these old stories from the Bible about King Saul and stuff. He says, but I want to make everything anthropomorphic animals, and they're fighting in mechs and ships, and it and I was like, he went on for a bit. I was like, hey, I'll stop you right there. Lions in Space is a yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up watching Voltron and watching Thundercats, and so there's a lot of old stories in there that are really they're really deep, and there's a lot of interesting characters and storylines, and of course there's always something to learn there. So we started making these comic books, and we're coming out with chapter 3 here in about 2 weeks, and it's it's interesting to see those old stories. And one thing about using anthropomorphic animals is folks look at this and they see themselves in the characters, regardless of their race or regardless of their background. I think it's very relatable when you have anthropomorphic characters. But the action is great. The storylines are really amazing, and I can say this because I'm not writing it. I'm just kind of the executive here, but we're really proud of the work that we're doing, and and actually, I saw to see the question: Are the villains tigers? No, the good guys, the Dominion guys, are like warm-blooded creatures, like lions and tigers and antelope and porcupines and gorillas and rhinos. The bad guys, the Philistines, are all like cold-blooded creatures, like crocodiles and snapping turtles and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's beautiful. So how are you funding your book, Mark? Are you doing any type of crowdfunding, or is this all out of your own pocket? Or
the first book we funded out of our pocket, and with the second book we started doing some crowdfunding to basically do pre-sales of the book. And so the book is doing great, and it's when you're producing comics, you're like, at least let's break even. So we're actually making money with these books, so we're thrilled about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when you're making money doing it, you can continue doing it. So it's really exciting, and with us using these stories that we're telling are inspired by the stories there in the Old Testament, 1 Samuel. So we'll never run out of stories. So yeah,
it looks great. So right now you can pre-order book 3, which I've got on the screen. So just go to your website, which is in the show description. And sorry, we got a little bit of mic issue there. A little feedback. I don't know if that's you or me.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was me.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so anyways, so right now, when are you planning on releasing book 3, Mark?
Book 3 will be released in 2 weeks, and it's the best of all 3 books. And if you want to get caught up, very soon after chapter 3 drops, we're going to be releasing a graphic novel that contains all 3 chapters.
Awesome.
So if you feel free to buy all 3 books that are there on our website, terminusmedia.com. But if you want to wait for that graphic novel, that's how I read comics. Like when I read a comic, I like to read 6 issues in one sitting and get the full effect. So
nice.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, and we appreciate folks checking it out. Check out our website, and we're having a lot of fun over here.
That's great. Well, Mark, you've been a great guest. It went by so quickly. We'll have to have you back on after the book is released, and maybe we can chat some more. But you've been an awesome guest. Is there anything else you want to say to the folks out there?
I just want to, just encourage everybody. Thanks for watching the show, and comics and coffee. I mean, 2 great things. So,
you can't lose. You can't lose. Thank you so much, Mark. Well, you have a great day, my friend.
All right, you too.
Hope you don't get too hot out there in Atlanta. Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm gonna back your book. It looks like something I could share with my not only myself but my grandkids and stuff like that. So thank you for doing all ages stuff. I'm sure that's kind of what I like, is to get people entry level in and keep the art form going so everybody can enjoy it. I appreciate that. So.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Take
care.
All right. So that was Mr. Mark Stansel. And check out Terminus Media and follow Mark. I've got his little link kind of scrolling down across the bottom. If you want to follow him on Twitter, you can. And he's got other books too, like Samson, this other Radio Free America book. All looks really interesting. So cool. All right. So without any further ado, let's move on and we'll bring in our next guest. And he's somebody that our friend of the channel, Preston Azevedo, mentioned. And his name is Tim. Is it Tim Latty or Lottie?
Laddie.
Laddie. Hey,
Tim.
Tim.
I accept any version of it. I'm not too serious about the name, the pronunciation
All right.
of it.
Nice to meet you.
Usually
How
I'll
are
say
you?
Laddie.
Latte. I don't like latte as much as I like just straight coffee. Are you?
Right.
Is Tim Lottie a latte drinker, or how do you take your coffee?
Black coffee. That's how I like it. And I had 2 cups this morning, so I'm one behind you.
Where are you from, Tim?
I'm in New Orleans, or right outside of New Orleans.
Okay, so that's probably how you know Preston, because he's out.
Yeah. He's we're both local artists down here, so he's like 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away.
Okay,
something like that.
Let's take a cool look at your studio. Wait, you're all set up. You got a couch to crash on, and you've got
I actually never sit on it, but it looks nice. It looks nice on camera. And then a buddy of mine, he gave me this comic book rack, so I filled it up with all. I'm a homer over here, so it's all Tim Latty books.
Okay, gotcha, man. So Tim, I kind of looked at the little bio that Preston sent me. So you've got some credits with some pretty big studios. Can you kind of tell us, briefly about your career and nutshell?
Yeah, I've been drawing comics for, I don't know, probably like a decade now. I started off at Ape Entertainment years ago and worked my way over to IDW, where I did a book called Creeple People. That book led me to eventually get a Ghostbusters cover for the annual. I think it was, 2017. And that just kind of snowballed into a bunch of Ghostbusters covers. So I've been very fortunate to kind of piggyback off of, I don't know if you know the Ghostbusters stuff over there, but Dan Schoening and Louis Delgado and Eric Burnham, if you're a fan of the 80s, they do a great job of it's a heavy nostalgia kick within the Ghostbusters world. And it always references like other 80s movies and things like that. So it's awesome. Yeah. I did the Blunt Man poster. I did the artwork for the movie. And that's, so that was in the film. I'd see somebody's writing on the camera. Yeah. And luckily we were able to get to keep those afterwards. Nice. Did you get to meet Kevin Smith or? Met him a few times, dude. If you watch Reboot, when Brody comes out in Brody's comic book shop, on the wall behind him is all my Ghostbusters originals. So we were hanging out on set one day. Same guy that gave me this. He was the guy that basically populated the set. And so he kind of got me on there, and we're talking with everybody as they're setting up, and they just happened to mention that they got the rights to Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles. And he's like, dude, this is the Ghostbuster guy. And I was like, you want some originals? And he was like, I'm not going to say no. So we went to Michael's, bought a bunch of frames, spent like $60, $70 on $10 frames. And they hung them up, dude. So if you look, he walks right out in front of all that stuff. It's awesome. Crazy, huh? Man. Yeah. So I've got your campaign on the screen. So let's go through it. Do you want to play the trailer first, and then people can ask questions? All right. So let's ask away. Get back to that. So guys, we're going to watch the trailer to Night Stars, which is Tim's newest project, and it's just released and can use your support. So let's check it out.
I got a letter from 13-year-old Ryan from Belfast. Now, Ryan, if you're out in the crowd tonight, here's the answer to your question. No. As far as I know, an alien spacecraft did not crash in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. And Ryan, if the United States Air Force did recover alien bodies, they didn't tell me about it either, and I want to know.
We were abducted from our everyday lives. Now we are lost in time and space, hoping to find a way to change the future by battling our way through the past.
Nice work, man.
Appreciate it. So, yeah, that was actually a Kickstarter we did years ago, or I did years ago, and just slowly been picking at it. This was when crowdfunding wasn't as popular as it is now. I don't know if you remember that. So, had done that, and then that's when all the other stuff that I just talked about started to happen. But it was always something I wanted to do, was keep doing that. I appreciate that, brother, Postmasterson. Yeah, I hope it does become one. Hopefully it will become one. So, yeah, just kept picking at it. So it's my baby, so to speak.
Yeah. So Tim, how long have you been an artist, a professional?
I don't know. It's probably like everybody else. Professional, like I said, probably about 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
Like 2005, I think I started working at 8.
Who would you say are your...
doing horrible page rates, backup story, you know what I mean? Like really worked my way up the ladder for sure.
Who would you say are your biggest influences as a creator?
I'm a 90s kid, so obviously that whole genre, the McFarlane, Capullo, but dude, one of my favorite artists all time is Tom Grummett. I love Tom Grummett.
Yeah.
I think he's underrated. And you could put him on any book and he just kills it, whether it's Adventures of Superman, Robin, whatever. Obviously, he's better with the teens. And you can see that reflected in my work a little bit. I like drawing like, Goonie type stuff, Monster Squad type stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
But
there's a book called Monster MD that did really well. And it kind of looks like I don't know if you've seen it, by Von Klaus.
No.
Oh, really? You got to check. It's almost like out of over 100,000 in sales. It's
awesome,
your style is very reminiscent of kind of a cartoony yet, whimsical. I like how you did the animation on your campaign. That's something I don't see a whole lot of people kind of have static.
Yeah, that was a buddy of ours, Steven Rosagna. He's the one that did the video, and he went in there and did it with that image right there. He took the cover and just did all kinds of stuff. Definitely dude. I'm reading the comments. I hope that's all right. But I'm huge Sliders fan. I still watch Sliders to this day. Like people always are asking me, like, "Hey, what you watching right now? Dude, you saw Stranger Things?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude, but I've been watching like Stargate. I've been watching SG-1 and Sliders. So I watch old stuff all day long."
That's nice. Yeah, I can tell. It looks like a lot of fun. Is this to me, it seems like it's an all ages appropriate book?
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to keep it all ages for sure.
Okay.
And not that like, you can take something like look at like a Pixar movie. There's still adults love Pixar movies, but it's still generated towards kids. You know what I mean? So I think it's something an adult can enjoy just as much. But yeah, definitely want to keep it all ages.
Tim, I'd have to say just the presentation quality, everything from inking, lettering, coloring, and then you've got this awesome action figure incentive. Tell us more about that.
That is, so my partner in this, when I was doing the Kickstarter years ago, a guy messaged me, and you might hear my rooster crowing in the background. I'm very Southern. If anybody was wondering what that was.
That's awesome.
But he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, can I read the script?" And I was debating it. A buddy of mine actually told me to tell him, like, "Nah, tell him that, F off." I was like, "Nah, dude." And we became friends over the years. He's ended up, like I said, he became my partner in this.
Okay.
And we've been going to New York Comic Con and stuff like that. when we were talking about relaunching it as an Indiegogo, he just kind of randomly brought up like, let's make a toy. And I'm a big toy person myself. I don't know. I don't have anything viewable, but there's a ton of stuff in front of me. Sure. And yeah, we decided to make it a stretch goal. So this is going to be something a little more down the line, but yeah, that's the idea. Anybody that goes in over $50, they have the opportunity to get in a free toy. And it was sculpted by a buddy of mine, Adrian Melton, who did the Sectars figures. I don't know if anybody had ever seen those. And he just killed it, man. He just made it. It is so beautiful, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal. I want to get funded first, but down the line, that would be so cool. That would be so much fun.
Let's look at your campaign here. So you just launched about 4 days ago. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So 15 backers. Your fixed goal is 10,000, and you still have about 56 days left to go. So Tim, what would you say in your campaign is the best bang for the buck?
It depends on if you're in the collector version of it, because we talked about Ghostbusters earlier. There you see Dan Schoening and Louis Delgado did a variant cover for it. So if you want two versions of the book, you can get, the Ghostbuster combo and get and they killed it too, man. Like, that's such a great cover. And really fun. So I would think I think you just passed it. But
is there a bigger image of it?
I think it's called the Out of Time bundle. I tried to name them after like Back to the Future references and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Like that.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. One of those.
Right here.
Yeah, that's probably your easy bet.
Oops, I don't want to buy it quite yet. I'm gonna take a look at your campaign and then figure out which one we want to get. So two new covers is what I was showing right here. And then you got a cool Yeti figure as well. So are you traditional artist or do you do mainly digital?
I'm changing up a little bit. I'm evolving as everybody else does. So I started off totally traditional and not coloring, but at least with pencils and inks. Now I pencil in the computer, print it out, and then ink it on paper. But I'm doing a webtoons with Chuck Dixon right now over at Archaven called Go Monster Go.
Nice.
And in that process, oh, dude, he's awesome, man. So it's a free comic. That's also worth going to check out. But in that process, it's just easier to do digital when you're doing stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I don't want to let go of the old ways, but look, the kids that are starting to draw now, they're going to be all digital. Like, it's coming no matter what. So I'm transitioning, I guess. But if I do a Ghostbuster cover, I'm going to still do that traditional. I'm still going to ink that because I want the real cover,
Nice. So what do you plan? Is this an ongoing series, Tim?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully so. Hopefully we can keep funding it and keep it going. I would love to do that. Okay. The idea is that this is the original story. Like, they crash land, they find a spaceship. It gives them these suits that kind of morph around them and make them look like aliens, like little green men. But the spaceship is actually a time machine, so it takes them back in time where they crash land in Roswell in 1947. So they're mistaken. They're the Roswell aliens. And from there, it's kind of their journey throughout time dealing with history's mysteries. Like, they knock Amelia Earhart's plane out the sky. One of them falls in love with Anne Frank. They get a Yeti as a pet. So it's just, I don't know, whatever I think is fun, I'm going to do. And the really interesting part about it, for me as a creator, and I guess obviously for the reader as well, is that it can be a genre jumper. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get stuck in a sci-fi story. You can tell a Western. You can tell a turn of the century story or whatever, So, the Yeti is kind of a play on, did you ever watch Creepshow back in the day? The Creepshow movies?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a play on that Creepshow episode where Adrienne Barbeau is like the mean wife and they find the abominable snowman under the staircase.
Yeah.
So it's gonna kind of play off of that a little bit. Not as harsh, but he's not gonna eat anybody or anything. But
that's too funny you mentioned that, because I have actually the Creepshow trailer in my videos that I was gonna play as filler. So I grew up on all those old movies and like Phantasm and and stuff like that. So,
dude, I can't help myself but like sneak in Easter eggs, whether people get it or not. You know, it's fun for me as well.
So you've got some swag here, like stickers, and is this somebody you know wearing a shirt, or is it a model?
Yeah, that's my girl Kiki, a friend of mine, and she came out and posed for us. Nobody wants to see me posing in shirts, you know, so I got her to come out here and do it. That's
really cool. What does she think of your career?
She don't care about comics, man, you know. So, but she was gracious enough to come and pose for a bunch of T-shirts, for a bunch of shots, which I think
nice.
helps the aesthetic.
So Tim, what would you say? You know, this looks like a great campaign. What's been your proudest achievement as a creator in your career?
That's a good question. That's a tough question. It kind of goes in like stages. Ghostbusters is up there. There's when you're able to do something you did that you loved as a kid to like be part of that. I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like that genuinely does mean a lot to me to have been a part of it. You know what I mean? And then the Jay and Silent Bob thing was awesome. Like, dude, I can't even explain that scenario. Like they're filming at the mall that I used to pretend to go be mall rats at. You know what I mean? Like I would walk around with my little cup of water, like be a little deviant. And Jason Mewes is walking around in costume. I went and got a smoothie, and I'm walking back in during lunch break, and Mewes is walking in up the stairs at this old mall. So that was like a big one because you get to share that with your friends from high school. You know what I mean? Like I'm texting them, I'm like, dude, like I wanted to take a picture, you know, but I'm like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. But it was cool, man. So those are up there. Working at IDW and being able to work on stuff that you grew up with, that's pretty cool. That's pretty up there.
Do you have any other projects besides Night Stars in the works?
I do. A lot depends on this Night Stars, how this goes, but I have another one. Funny, because piggyback off the Ghostbuster thing, it was going to be a Ghostbuster story that I wanted to pitch that was called Tales from Ray's Occult Bookstore. And it was going to focus around Kylie Griffin from Extreme Ghostbusters working the bookstore, and Ray, basically her doing like offshoot things that weren't Ghostbusters related. You know what I mean? Like she would go on a different adventure than the rest of the team was going on. And Preston was one of the people that was just like, dude, don't do that. Like keep it for yourself, blah, blah, blah. They weren't going to take it anyway because something like that is so like impossible to get done. So I reworked it and made it my own thing. So depending on how well this goes, that would be what's coming next. And it would just be called Tales from the Occult Bookstore.
Okay, cool.
Which would be very Halloween oriented and stuff like that. It would be a fun one.
Gotcha. So on Night Stars, Tim, if you reach your goal, what's your anticipated publication release date?
Well, it's already basically done. So we have 4 issues. So that's going to be 100 pages. And then I just have to do the Yeti story. Like we were talking on Twitter, I'm also recoloring a lot of the pages just to give it a fresh coat of paint and update it as my skills have evolved over the years. So, man, hopefully within 3-4 months. The toy's going to be a big factor too. That would be a little bit of a game changer if we get to that point. But
that's great. Well, I'm excited, man. You look like you got a lot of energy. Folks in the chat, if you have a show and you want Tim to come on it, please reach out to him on Twitter. He's got his we've got his Twitter handle right there. I know we've got Critical Blast in the house, and then Pops Van Zant. They both have their own streaming shows. So I would encourage you, Tim, if you haven't met these folks already, to get on there and we'll keep on getting the word out and retweeting your campaign. It's you've done this before though. This isn't your first Kickstarter, right? Or INDIEGOGO?
It's INDIEGOGO, but yeah, I mean, it's been a while. You know, I didn't know what I was getting into all those years ago. It's probably been like 7 years. You know, like 2013 was when I did the first one. So I was texting my buddy the other day. I'm like, man, I forgot how much this sucks. You know, like the whole process of like trying to round up money and everything. You know, the stress. But I'm a little more a little more refined now. I'm taking it a little more casually. It's fun.
Okay, cool, buddy. Hey, we've got a few people in the chat. Actually, he said Night Stars, and Frank, you're supposed to be on my show, so I sent you a link, and if you're watching this, and I'm waiting for you to come into the green room so we can talk about Warlash. But if you're feeling shy and you just want me to play your trailer, I'm happy to do that. But I think you've been on shows before, so Frank, if you're having technical difficulties, send me a message either on the chat or through Twitter. But I sent you a link yesterday, and you're not responding to that, but I see you. I see you in the chat, so I know you're around.
I'm loving it, Frank. Keep it up. Like you're just bumping Night Stars.
Pops Van Zant says send it to your account. Okay, Pops, I'll do that. Tim, anything else in closing before I bid you adieu?
No, man. I appreciate you having me on. Super cool.
Yeah.
And anybody else that's interested, please just let me know. I'd love to.
I had a good time. If people want to do ask you to do commissions and stuff, are you open to that?
Yeah, I'm open to commissions. I'll still do commissions. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I'm easy to get in touch with. You've seen that. Just hit me up, message me.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy. Well, best wishes to you and your campaign, my friend. It looks awesome. It's got a really cool vibe to it. And I'm sure we'll see you around in different shows and online and stuff. But take care, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you later, Tim. All right. Bye-bye. So, guys, yeah, I'm going to have to send the link to to Pops to get Frank on here. So just give me a second here. Let me play a little filler thing while we're working on that, and then we'll try to get Frank in here. Let's see, what can I entertain you with for just a moment. We'll play a little 30-second teaser for my friend Luke Stone here.
New from Terraform Comics, Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, Volume 1, Trash Day. When everyday people develop godlike abilities, it is up to a small band of heroes to expose an evil superhuman trafficking ring. This 128-page volume merges history with fiction in an exciting, fast-paced adventure. Get your copy now.
All right, so that was a little Luke Stone promo. Actually, Luke sent me some books that are in the mail, and I'm planning on doing a unboxing of his stuff from Hybrids, and he sent me a cool little coffee mug. So I just sent a link to Tim. I'm sorry, not to Tim, but to Frank via Pops Van Zant. So hopefully Frank will be coming into the chat soon so we can take a look at Warlash, which looks really cool as well. We've got some really great looking projects. Oh, cool. We've got Frank in the green room, so that wasn't too bad. So let me go ahead and bring him in. Hey, Frank.
Hey, Don. How's it going,
How are you, man?
Good. What's going on? Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Where are you from?
Originally Connecticut and New York, but now lived in LA for almost 18 years, I think.
Okay, so you're a West Coaster. Well.
For now. I mean, born and raised in New England, but West Coast now for sure.
What's your background?
So yeah, if people don't know who I am, Frank Forte. I was mainly doing comics in the 90s. So I started in the black and white boom, doing books like Vampire Versus, working for Boneyard Press, working for CFD. I was in an issue of Cry for Dawn back then. Did a lot of indie stuff, Studio Insidio I published in 91, worked for, a bunch of indies like Anubis Press. And then in 1999, I formed Asylum Press, where I published Hex of the Wicked Witch, Warlash, a bunch of my own books, Satan's Powder Room, Chicken Soup for Satan. We did a bunch of horror books, a bunch of parodies, Satan Gone Wild, Asylum of Horrors. We did a bunch of horror books. Then I got some stuff published in heavy metal, and then worked as an editor for heavy metal for about since 2008. and
Really?
edited a couple of issues myself, and then worked on as an editor with the different owners that came and went. So we did a bunch of I got stories in there. I helped creators get in the magazine and got my own stuff published there as well. But also when I came out to LA, I decided to work in animation and film. So I've done storyboards on tons of shows, like Bob's Burgers is the most popular, and I've worked on the comic book too. But Solar Opposites, that guys from Rick and Morty, I storyboarded on that. I storyboarded on Lovecraft Country, the new Conjuring movie. So I've worked on a bunch of Blumhouse horror films, and worked at DreamWorks on Three Below, which was the Guillermo del Toro spinoff. So I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff in animation and film, and comics mainly. Aside from heavy metal, it's been like indie stuff. So I do my own stuff. So I'm an indie comics creator, indie comics publisher. So that's why I'm trying to network with a lot of you guys that, do podcasts or, believe in indie comics, because the Kickstarter fan base is like, you can really do a comic and promote it on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and like make a living at it, where it used to be like, if you broke even, you were good. With Kickstarter, you can almost make a really good living. I mean, if you look at the high end, look at like what Brian Polito's doing, and you're like, wow, that's like kicking ass. And then other people that raise like 20 or 30,000, like that's really good money. Like that's a month or two wages where you could pay yourself, pay some people, and have like a business. Whereas if before publishing comics, if you sold a couple thousand through Diamond or whatever, it's not really like profit money, Absolutely. You got to sell like 10,000 to really be making money. But with, the retailer market and Kickstarter, if you can combine those, which is what we're trying to do, you can do it, So I'm really liking the whole Kickstarter thing. But this is the campaign.
So, I think I found you through Pops. Pops kind of sent me a link. So I grew up on heavy metal. I grew up reading the old. I'm older than I look. I kind of grew up in the 80s. But it's funny. My wife and I just watched Conjuring 3 last week on HBO. It was really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, my name's at the end of it, and me and this other storyboard artist, Bridget, we storyboarded some reshoots, and it was right before COVID. So we were like, I worked on it for a week. We did a bunch of stuff, and then COVID was happening, and it was like, oh my God. So at the beginning of the week, it was like, oh, no problem. There's nothing going on. It's no big deal. By Friday, it was like everybody was shutting down. It was crazy. Crazy. So that was my Conjuring story.
So Frank, let me ask. I mean, your stuff, this work is so reminiscent to me of the best heavy metal. I mean, I look at the artwork, and this main Warlash guy kind of reminds me of what if Judge Dredd kind of went into the heavy metal? Did you kind of read a lot of Judge Dredd and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember seeing those Judge Dredd covers from the like Eagle Comics and stuff. They were in magazines, and I would pick up issues of Judge Dredd or 2000 AD, and it was right around when RoboCop was popular too in the 90s when I created this character. And I was just like, in the 90s there was all these characters like Deathstroke and Deathlash, and they were putting all these words together, and I just was like, what's my 90s name? And I just kept trying to smash these words together, and there was a lot of lashes and there was a lot of war characters, but there was never a Warlash. And I was just like, Warlash. And then the Lash was like, let's give him a tail, let's give him like a scorpion tail. And that's cool. The character.
It kind of reminds me of Judge Dredd meets Halo meets Scorpion from Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Judge Dredd meets like RoboCop meets Halo meets Scorpion, if you want to have a 4-part mashup. So that's kind of the character. And some of these artists, I got to do these covers a while ago, and the stories have been done for a while. Warlash Dark Noir, that's the original 3-issue series that we did in 2008, 2009. So those were running low on limited quantities, but that's a reward. You can get that series, which we're going to collect into a trade. But if you want the original printings, these are all first printings. We have those. And some of the other stuff are sketch covers. We got a David Fout variant cover. And a lot of the add-ons are a lot of Asylum Press. The others are David Fout covers.
Okay,
Nice. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but so he did those. And Vicious Vixens is I'm trying to like a sexy girl sketchbook kind of a thing to see how that goes over.
Okay.
So that's like another little additional reward. Doing some
busy guy. You're a busy guy, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Can we play your trailer real quick?
Yeah. You're not, I mean, I think all the music is from either Filmstro or YouTube, the music that they give you on your channel. So I don't know. Some people are concerned about like rights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all cleared for YouTube at least.
Okay. I sometimes I get copyright warnings, but never a strike. So
yeah, right. That's what I get. Yeah, just play it.
It's fine. Okay, guys, here we go.
Yeah, and these are all, a bunch of Asylum Press backstock add-ons.
Nice.
So we're trying to like get, using the add-ons to raise a little more money. And, that's about it. I've got a few add-ons to add right before the end, but we got 3 days to go and we're just trying to, really get the word out there. I mean, I had a modest goal of 3,000, which we met, but it would be nice to bump it up to like 5 or 10. I think that's probably a little bit too, a little bit too much to hope for, but I see a lot of these, campaigns do like 20 and 30,000, and I just think they have a bigger fan base, or I'm trying to figure out the formula. A lot of it is like variant covers that are 20 and 40 each. So it's a higher number. Sexy girl covers. I'm really trying to figure out this. Warlash is not really the Blade Viper is on the cover of those two David Fout variants, but it's not like I could do a Warlash nude cover or something. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure out these, the formula, and I think it's about just finding a really good fan base. Yeah. I'm finding doing update trades with current Kickstarters is also helping, and doing these podcasts, I think, gets me out to people that don't know my work, because you guys have a pretty big following.
Definitely, man.
But I don't know what else. Like Facebook ads don't seem to work. Posting in Facebook groups constantly doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah. And I mean, I'm in all the indie comics groups. I don't think that helps at all. I don't know. Yeah. I've been posting for 6 weeks in those, and it's like not doing anything.
Yeah, it's a weird market to navigate, because I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I just started like crowdfunding getting my feet wet last year, and my campaign, the first one, X-FARCE, we're just short of 8,000.
That's awesome.
BEARDZZERKER's over 8,000.
That's awesome.
Well,
what was your crowd following? Like, what was your following? How many people on your newsletter? Like, what are those stats?
I had pre-signups and stuff, and it was, it was modest. But I totally am in the same boat as you, just trying to build. You and I probably had a following back when we started in the 80s and 90s, and then I took a break.
You were in the 80s and 90s. Did you work for the majors or the indies?
Mainly the indies, like Eclipse.
Okay.
And then we started Parody Press and Entity Comics, and
I
went into into real estate, and so now I'm kind of getting back into it as a hobby per se. But I really like, feeding off the energy of people like you and the other people that we've had as guests. But yeah, I encourage you, Frank, just to get your name out on as many streams as you can.
Yeah.
Just get. I think the product speaks for itself. Once people see
that's what I
the
think.
quality, you know, you've got heavy metal cred, and I mean,
yeah, I've got a lot of creds, like especially film and TV. So people are like, "How are you not doing better?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to get my stuff out there. I send out press releases. I have a press list. I have a comic store list. I have a bookstore list. I have a fan base. I have 2 fan base lists. I send out emails all the time, and like I don't get press pickups. I don't get, you know, a lot of follows on Instagram. I don't know. I think a lot of it is like this whole social media thing doesn't work. Like even if you have followers, it doesn't get to everyone. And I think being on the comic store racks is like before social media, you would get on the comic store racks, you'd be in the stores, and then you get mail orders because you would announce a mail order inside the back of the comic, right? And I think that's like almost going back to doing, you know, postcard mail outs or mailings to people and having just an old school like newsletter that's mailed out. At least if you mail out a newsletter, you know it's going to get to everyone if the address is good. If you send out an email to 1,000 people, maybe 30% will see it and 10% will open it. If you send somebody a letter, you guarantee they're going to pick up that postcard and look at it. Like everyone's going to see it. So I'm almost like, I think mailing, going back to that old school mailing thing and being on the racks is the way to go, because social for me is like, it doesn't seem to do much. I don't know if you have, I don't know if you have, you know, a good, you know, experience with it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like,
I'm still navigating and trying different email techniques, but the old school, just sending out a postcard might not be a bad idea if you can get people's mailing addresses. And
and you can buy those. It's legal to buy those. People think it's like, oh, you can't buy email addresses. Yeah, you can. There are tons of places that will sell you addresses, and it's legal. It's because when people, you know, sign a credit card thing, what they're signing, they don't know what they're signing. What they're signing is, if I go into a comic store and make a purchase, or a gaming store, your name is going to go onto a list that you made a purchase in a comic store or a gaming store in the past 30 days. And that list is going to get sold to a person that sells lists to someone like me that wants to sell to you. And it's totally illegal to do it. It's not illegal, you know. That's why you get, like when you buy a house, after you buy a house, you get the postcard from the people selling you home insurance, people selling you, you know, a redo, people selling you a refrigerator, people say, because they know you just bought a house because your name is on that list, you know.
Exactly. Well, you know, I encourage people, if you like what you see with Frank's Warlash, to definitely go out and back it while he's still got a few days left. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, Frank, if you're going to maybe try Indiegogo after this, or are you strictly on Kickstarter? Or
no, the last time I did that, I did a Kickstarter and I ran an Indiegogo right after it. So I think I'm going to like set it up and just run it. But I don't promote the Indiegogo as much. But I think, you know, even if I raise another 1,000, I think it's worth it. So I think I'm gonna try it. I think that's like a lot of people do, is like Kickstarter, Indiegogo. It's a lot of work, but
it is.
I don't know. Is that what you do?
I'm only done Indiegogo, but I have backstock, so on X-FARCE. So I'm thinking I need to talk to my wife.
Kickstarter, then you just do Indiegogo.
Yeah, I'm only on Indiegogo right now.
Why is that?
So that's just because the people that I was supporting were using Indiegogo, and I kind of like the ease of their format, and that I don't know. I mean, I'm open to different things. But, Frank, is there anything else you want to tell people before we say goodbye?
AsylumPress.com is where I am. Frank Forte Comics on Twitter, Frank Forte Art on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find Asylum Press's new books in previews. Just look us up in the previews catalog. We'll be in September, October, November releases. We got some cool Halloween stuff coming out if you want to pre-order at comic stores. And we're going till this Saturday, June 19th. So check out Warlash. If you like hardcore, hard-hitting sci-fi carnage and action, I think you'll like the book.
Awesome. Hey, Frank, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. Glad we got to meet you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day, man.
Yeah, let's do it again, man. We got a lot to talk about, I think.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so that's Frank Forte with Asylum Press. You guys know how to reach him. All the links to all these campaigns, guys, are in the description. So if you just click on, you want to support Dominion or Night Stars or Warlash, you can just check it out in the YouTube description or on the replay. So I'm going to wrap this show up, guys. I just wanted to mention a couple things. This weekend, Red Valkyrie is having an art auction, and I'm going to be on, I think it's 9 to 12 Eastern time. So, or 10 to 12 Eastern time. So, or 12 to 2 Eastern time. Yeah, I think it's 12 to 2 Eastern time. So I'm going to be putting up for sale this beautiful Mike McMahon wraparound cover art to Beardzerker with the character U.S. Assassin. So you get this one is the front cover with Beardzerker, Holly, and U.S. Assassin. And then on the back cover, you've got Bazooka Dog and Cat Stevens. So we're going to be auctioning that off. And I'm going to start the price pretty low on this. I think it's going to be probably a couple $100 to start. And then another piece that I plan to auction off is this X-Cons cover sketch by Mark Lewis. Try to zoom in a little bit there. And so that'll come with all the X-FARCE comic books, trading card. I'll probably throw in some incentives if we get the bidding up fairly high, like the lunchbox or the mug. So please check out Red Valkyrie's channel. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, keep smiling. And I'm going to lead you out with a little Beardzerker promo. So enjoy, and we will talk soon. I'll be on again next week, next Wednesday, same time, same bat channel. You guys take care.
Comics are totally awesome. And I'm totally awesome too. Beardzerker has everything you want from a comic book. It's got great drawings, colors, great story. It's got great action, has a little romance, and it's about something. Not just any something. It's a parody of some thing. I was like, well, I used to collect and I love comic books. And they were like, so, did you ever want to make a comic book? And I was like, yeah. And then Parody Press was like, oh, yeah. So they made a comic book that's a parody of my comic book. And it will probably be pretty hilarious, because that's what a parody is. Or at least what it's supposed to be. You know, this idea of kind of like a rock and roll warrior. Someone in an altered state. Someone with a big guitar axe. Then a pet cat that's from the hood. Just out of control. Speaking of out of control, there's his beard. It gets bigger and longer throughout the book until it takes on a fantastical life of its own. It's like, whoa! So, check it out. If you do, I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. But honestly, I didn't really do that much, other than rambling on about comics and books. I mean, comic books. Wait, what was I saying? Oh well. Enjoy! Beardzerker from Parody Press. Back it today!